What's up top 10 fam, hope you're having an awesome day. I'm your host Ayman Hassan and welcome back to another video. Now pregnancy is simultaneously the best and worst time of a woman's life, I feel, and I say that with zero experience myself, so like why am I talking crap? The excitement of being a new mom, but also the morning sickness, the swollen feet, the constant bathroom breaks, and the possibility your baby was fathered by a demon. Before we get into it, our third contest is still happening, you guys. The prize is a Nintendo Switch. All you have to do is follow Landon Productions on Instagram and like his post about the contest. But with that being said, these are the top 10 people who got pregnant with a demon. Starting us off with number 10 is the ultrasound. Now this one shocked me. Like, I know parents get really emotional when they're looking at their baby's ultrasound, but I don't know how I could summon up any feeling of maternal or paternal love when looking at this ultrasound. And I mean that in the least savage way possible, I assure you. So in September of this year, Virginia local 17-year-old Ayana Carrington went into her ultrasound hoping to find out the gender of her baby. But when the technician looked at the screen, a demonic baby was looking right back at her. Like, I don't even know how that ultrasound looks like a fetus. It looks like a little garden imp. But the mum took it in stride, joking about how she couldn't wait to meet her demon baby. And of course, I don't mean any disrespect to the baby or her mum, but admittedly, the ultrasound was creepy as hell. I'm not gonna lie. Coming in at number 9 is the Razor experience. Back in 2016, 28-year-old Utah-based Suzanne Connors gave birth to an entity who she immediately made the sign of the crossover and cast it out for adoption. Suzanne claimed her entire pregnancy felt like she was being cut with razors from the inside and that she wanted absolutely no part of raising the Antichrist. The doctor that did her C-section claimed Suzanne's amniotic sac and uterus was completely ripped to shreds. Bruh. All that disrespect after she carried your for 9 months and you do that to her? The disrespect. Put some respect on Suzanne's name, okay? Over it. At number 8 we have the demon child. Now this one centers on a baby that at 4 weeks old could walk by himself and apparently produce fire. The boy's mom, Colombia-based Ana Faria Santos, claims he cackles like an adult for hours at a time, hides around the house, and has a really intimidating set of eyes. The family's neighbors are so scared of the boy they've started throwing stones at their house, which if you remember is exactly what happened to Naomi Watts in The Ring 2 after her son got like royally screwed and possessed. It's the same thing. The Ring 2 is happening in real life. Filling at number 7 slot is the mix-up. Joan of the Angels is most famous for being seduced and impregnated by a demon disguised as a priest who was disguised as an angel. Keep up, please. Please keep up. Now this one took a turn for the worse when Urbain Grandier became a priest in France, and this man was a proper womanizer. Joan became obsessed with Urbain, claiming he was the devil, and he appeared to her as a radiant being. But screw Urbain, she said Isacharon, the demon of debauchery, got her pregnant, and this seemed true since during her pregnancy she would always be screaming and convulsing and talking in tongues. And a bunch of nuns joined her in her accusations against Urbain after that, so I mean, was he an angel? Was he a demon? Was he a priest? Or was he just a player? Now at number 6 is the Sinful Conception. Now you may not know who Jane Addams was, but she was quite big in Chicago back in the late 1800s. She was one that actually opened Hull House, which is a place where impoverished immigrants can share, and a place for single working women to stay safe. Now the story goes that apparently there was a devil baby in the house that had pointy ears, cloven hooves, and could speak perfectly despite being an infant. It knew how to curse and use profanity and would insult anyone who came to visit it. Apparently Addams was sinful during the child's conception, and that's why everyone attributed the baby to the devil. Maybe it just looked a little weird. We don't have to be mean. Coming in at number 5 is the Overlooker. So this ultrasound was taken back in June of 2015 and was then shared to Reddit and Imgur by the mother's friend. The baby in the womb looks very normal and undemon-like, but if you look in the bottom right hand side of the scan, you can see a black figure. Now it looks quite ominous. It has 2 horns coming out of its head, and I mean, we all know what other entity has always been depicted as having 2 horns. The devil, Satan himself. He's watching this little baby grow. At number 4 is the New Jersey Devil. So this is apparently a very popular American story, so I'm very surprised I hadn't heard of it beforehand, given how many top 10s I've done, but here we are. Guess you learn something new every day. Back in the mid-1700s in Pine Barrens, New Jersey, Deborah Leeds and her husband Japhet had 12 kids together, and she became pregnant with their 13th. By that point, she was so done having kids that she was not happy about the 13th at all, and girl, I feel you. 12? I'm gonna max out at 3. I'm tapping out at 3. Anyway, on the night she gave birth, there are many accounts of what actually happened. One is that Deborah thought the baby was a demon since the number 13 was cursed. Another version claims she invoked the devil during the delivery and so she cursed the child herself. But the most popular story was that the baby was born deformed and she took care of it till she died, after which it flew into the swamps. Just flew into the swamps. And people in New Jersey have apparently seen this devil too, so I mean it's kind of an urban legend if you ask me. And New Jersey, evidently. Filling our number 3 slot is Satan Jr. So back in 2014, Satanist Isabella Miroslav claims Satan himself impregnated her. That's quite a statement, buddy. Apparently, one night when she was doing her nighttime prayers to the Prince of Darkness, he manifested in front of her. He asked her to take her clothes off and then bred her, and apparently he told her that she was going to raise his son, and once he turned 12, he would not only be the president of the US and create a one world government, he would also get everybody's souls and weaken Jesus' powers when he finally returned. Like, that's a lot of pressure to put on an unborn fetus. That is most likely not Satan's. Just saying. Unpopular opinion, that's a hot take. Now at number 2 is I Don't Even Know. This one was shared by Alice Lieberman on Imgur and it's an ultrasound from 1983. This really reminds me of those blotches of paint you see in a psychiatrist's office in the movies where they always ask you to interpret what it is and that reflects your inner psyche. Either way, I don't even know what I see in this scan. It's like a huge zoomed in demon's skull if you can see it, and the baby in the uterus is making them look like 2 eye sockets. I hope you guys can see that. The lining at the bottom is like the teeth of it, and the other problematic part is the baby itself, like it looks like a woodpecker. So I feel like there's just so much going on in this picture, but to me it looks like a demon skull. Let me know what it looks like to you guys. I would love to know. And finally, at number 1 is the demonic cat. So this one happened way back in 1569 to a woman called Agnes Bowker who lived in Leicestershire. Now Agnes was the daughter of a butcher and worked as a servant on some estate. She would have probably stayed irrelevant throughout history, but the events that unfolded on the 17th of January changed everything. Word got around that Agnes had apparently given birth to some demonic cat despite not being married and, well, the fact she was a virgin. Locals were terrified that it was a demonic abomination sent from hell or a sign of an upcoming catastrophe. She claimed a thing came unto her as she was in bed and lay on her heavily but didn't touch her. The next day it came back again but in the likeness of a black cat, and the midwife who delivered the baby said it pricked her with its claws while still in the womb. No one saw the baby being delivered, but when they walked back into the room, the thing was just on the floor near Agnes's feet. Did they leave it there? Did she raise it? What the hell was it? And that's it for today's video, guys. This is quite a list. I genuinely hope this doesn't happen to anyone ever again, because what was that? As always, let me know what you thought in the comments below. I've been your host, Ayman Hassan, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye! Back in the mid-1700s in Pine Barrens, New Jersey, Deborah Leeds and her judgment. And finally, at number 1 is the demonic cat. So this one happened way back in 1590. Sucking no, it didn't. Outro time.